Hey, I'm Igroglaz and today I'll tell you everything about Unnamed Space Idol. This is awesome idle RPG game in space settings, quite complex but very fun. So in this guide, this is guide for new players. I'll tell you everything how to play it, how to effectively develop, and there are a lot of different mechanics in this game. So let's start with UI. It could look a bit complex at first, but actually it's quite understandable. At the left side of the screen, we see our ship below, and our ship attack enemies, aliens. So in your ship, you could put different setup. You could have different ships in this game, and there are different types of weapons and shields. So this system is basically close to FTL, faster than light. Maybe you know this space roguelike game and some other space games. So the big difference is that this is idle game. So if you quit it, if you exit this game, it's continue to play offline. This way, some very long-term things, for example, crafting. So you could assign certain modules to craft, and you could go to sleep. And when you come back to the game, you would see that, oh, really cool, I have certain modules crafted, and you only left to like put them in your ship and to see progress which you made. So let's start with some basics. So there are ways to control your ship movement. It could go forward or backwards, like retreat. You could press to go back if you struggle to fight with certain enemies. And also there is a after advance button. How we could use it? It go from one sector to another sector. So in these games there are sectors. Each one contain a boss, and when you defeat this boss with these option of after advance, you just move to next sector. So this is boss fight right now, you could see. So yeah, if you die, if your ship destroyed by the boss, for example, like we had right now, nothing bad will happen. You just go back a bit go back, and you or your ship continue to fight with enemies, and you continue to get resources. So it's another fight with the boss. Let's take a look how it goes. So boss has shield, I have shields too, but he destroyed my shields faster. In this way, not really useful to have after advance or even go forward. It's better to press stop button and wait, collecting resources. So when you destroy enemy ships, you get scrap, salvage. This salvage, and you have like this is number how much do you have and how much you generate per second. So you get it when you destroy enemy ships. So you click on this space debris, you'd also get some. And this scrap you could use to upgrade your ship models. As I said, at first you have only two ship models like weapon and shield, so you would have much less elements on your screen. So basically you could tap at first after upgrade button, and this after upgrade button it will spend your salvage if you have to increase your models. And each model, when you upgrade it, it's raise its level. So right now, for example, this model it's 119 level, and we have here scientific notation, this E10. So it's basically how much number of zeros this number has. So like 10 zeros. So every time when we upgrade it, we gain levels, and these levels it's useful value because for some, for example, challenges which you would make in this game, you would need certain amount of levels, so it's worth noticing. Also, when you upgrade through it, you could choose different types of settings on your models, and you see when you choose it, parameters like damage could change. For example, if on our beam laser, this right now you could see it on the screen, this beam laser which always hit target all the time, and it doesn't stop attacking. This makes enemy shield do not restore itself. So if we attack only with like Gatling laser or charge laser, each time when we're stopping shooting, like when we recharge, shields restore. So beam laser used for preventing enemy shield restore, and after a few hours you would meet enemies with shield, so this is very useful beam laser. Later on we will talk about like different weapons, but for now I want to tell you that okay, you could easily change parameters of your weapons like here, it's immediately come into action, and this could be useful, but at first actually you do not need change much stuff here. Like the only thing which I change here, it's for beam laser, this thing, but it's for like later, or maybe charge laser also. It's nice to have a lot of damage for it, then like bigger fire rate to nuke targets faster. So yeah, this is our core window, and in core window you mainly just when you start you upgrade everything to defeat your enemies faster. So you spend salvage on it. Another thing is compute window, and here you spend void matter, another resource which you gain. Let me do prestige right now. So let me reset my progress so you would see how I upgraded. It would be easier to explain. In prestige bar I could choose which models do I want to have, because you could make these prestiges all the time, it's not a problem. I reset it, so I started from almost scratch, almost zero. So you could upgrade like this your models when you get scrap, when you get salvage, and after you kind of get certain threshold you get this or that bonus. So at first you just upgrade all and it will be enough for you to advance. Then compute, here you get void matter. So when you get void matter you could assign it to computing damage or shields, to give bonus to damage or shields. And how to do it properly, the best way is use 1.5 in one and then press max in second. This way you make equal input to both. But as my ship already a bit advanced, I have much more computation power, so even if I press max several times here, I can't allocate more than 10 because I have very big bonuses to damage and shield computation. So I go further and do this. So we're going for computing like second levels. This, when we do it, we get damage and shield boost. So every tick, like every second, we generate levels which give us our ship this boost. And salvage, we could also use salvage in this tab to multiply it. So if I press here input with my keyboard 10, then I have twice bigger bonus. If I have 100, yeah, I have 3x. So as I have right now like 4 millions, and I generate like 5,000 per second, I can easily even 50. I can easily make like 10,000 salvage as bonus, and you see I still have plenty generated. So when we kill enemies, when we destroy enemies, we still have plenty of salvage, and we could multiply our salvage output, so in 5 times, which is nice. Also don't forget to put some more upgrades, spend your void matter, and you see we can't give more than these current values because it's already maxed. You always should have some allocated, even if it's kind of green still. But now we could move all other to third level and etc. So it's just the way to multiply your damage and shields. Then synth. What synth? Synth in our about basis we will talk a bit later. Let me make it a bit different. I'll explain it later on. So about synth. Synth, it's basically crafting in this game. So you could craft different components, and from these components, like different alloys, focusers, boosters, you could use them to craft and upgrade models. At first you could have like only 1 or 2 models and then upgrade them, but later on you would have much more active models, and you could turn them on and off by right clicking on them. So the thing is that it's very interesting crafting system. You could, when you craft certain item, you give experience for crafting better and better next time this particular item. So for example, at right now this enhanced alloy I have it level 34. So at level 35 I'll, at my next reset, progress reset, prestige it's called, I'll have 1400 just by default. I wouldn't need to craft them. So each level which we get certain bonus, and this is for each different component, which is very fun and give you plenty of good emotions when you open the game from when it's going offline for night, you sleep, and when you wake up you see that okay, my materials, they become much more effective. So it's really fun. Also when you synth it, you generate synth points, and these synth points you would assign them to different perks. At first it would be perks which cost only 10 points, but after you would finish with them, or you could just save them for later. For example, this synth power generation. Power generation is not really useful, so it's better not to spend it. So I just trying to ignore it and go with other slots which cost like 50. And the most important synth slot which you would want to get, it's this one, which unlock another synth slot, but it costs 3000, so it's not easy to get there. So for now just open all others except this power generation. So it's like talents which you could buy. Eventually you would buy them all, so don't be upset if you put something not in the right spot, because eventually you would have all of them open. Another important thing about synth is that you can at certain point when you level up your items up to level 50 or 60, you would be able to have infinite production of this resource. It means that you wouldn't need to create it. It will be already made. So you would have endless of them. So your goal when you just start to play, it's to focus on certain models to make them till level 50, so you would have them always. So you wouldn't need to create them. So this is really awesome thing, just to focus at something, and this way after you make prestige, after you reset your progress, you would it would be much easier. Considering models, the most important, it's your damage and shield models. So this is already tier 2. At first you would have only tier 1 models, and with tier 1 you use like white components to upgrade them, and tier 2 you use green ones, and at tier 2 they increase not by 1 every next upgrade but by 10, you see. So it's very important to go with it. Another cool models, it's laser boost automator and shield boost automator. What they do, they automatically activate this shields boost and laser boosts, which give you some additional damage for this type of weapon. So it's must have. The only thing that they do not work offline. So when you go offline, it's better to turn them off and to assign other models which just give you additional resources like compute speed, void matter generation, salvage, all except void power, because void power you would need it for later, but when you're just starting, it's most useless thing. But when you are online and when you try to push, this is with this laser boost automator, it gives you very big damage, because at first most of your weapons it's just pure lasers. Later on you would have like other types of weapons, other family of weapons like ballistic weapon. But for the beginning this is very important model to have. And you open these models, you open these resources, new items. Just look at the recipes which you have here. So eventually you would open all of them. Next important tab, it's V. V, it's very simple thing. It's like you know, 3 in a row. When you get certain amount of shards, it's like gems in Diablo, you know, which you could put in your equipment. So there are different colors, and you could put different shards in different places to have different bonus. For example, this is salvage amount multiplier, and this would be void matter drop. So very straightforward thing. The most important here is to have after merge option for them, and this option you could get it in AI automations, for which you receive these AI points you receive for achievements, and also there are some codes which you could get in this game's Discord. So just input these codes to your settings here. So there are like 5 or 10 codes which could give you some this donation currency. So for AI, most important it's after merge, then research after select. We'll talk about research later, but basically when you finish certain research, it could happen during like offline, game would automatically start researching another one. So it's nice to have. And smart craft. Smart craft, it gives you possibility, for example, to craft this thing, we need 4 of other previous alloys. So with this aftercraft, you wouldn't need to choose all the time manually crafting previous resources. So it's your most important priority, smart craft, and important thing that you need to open smart craft for each slot. So open for first, for second, and so on. So considering this V device, it's quite straightforward. Just use after merge option and put what you need for this particular session, for this particular sector, because there are some sectors which better to have like shields, for some better to have weapons, depends on your development stage, and also you might make challenges. So this give you possibility to customize your ship. Prestige. At first you would be able to prestige Corvette, where you could like change different weapons. You open these new ships and new weapons by clicking this button on the top. So when you go till certain challenge, when you complete it, like defeat sector 20 boss. Then I'll be able to open kinetic cannon, like new type of weapon. Thing here that these ships, they do not really differ one from another, except of their view size. So you see this zoom button on the left bottom corner. So different ships, they have different like view and also amount of models. That's it. These ships, they do not have like different types of hit points or some other stuff. They can be the same as far as I understood. So just a few tips. So when you start with laser cannon, then you could use Gatling laser which has very small radius but very high speed of fire. So for small targets, it's very nice to use it. Charge laser, which is it charges, it has very long recharge but very strong one single shot. So you could use this charge laser to fast attacking and killing big snipers from the distance. And beam laser, you use it to prevent enemy shields to restore, because if you hit enemy with a shield for a long time, if you hit enemy with a shield with the weapon which has recharge, during this recharge, so this pause between shots, enemy shield restore very fast. So this beam, as it constantly attack target, it prevents target restoring its shield. And yeah, considering shields, it's very simple. Just go for bulk generation as far as you can, because it gives you just a lot of hit points which you need to tank bosses. Yeah, so it's kind of must have. It's considering this tab, basic stuff. Then Reactor. In Reactor, you could turn on certain bonuses. For example, by the way, right now it's nice to have boost engine, so we would go faster, and also like damage. And you could turn them on and off depending on situation. Because, for example, when we would start to fight with the boss, it's better not to use our boost, but use our shields. Yeah, here. Thing is that you spend power, and you generate this power from this void matter. So, for example, you see when I turn on boost damage and boost max shields, you see that I spent 30 power per second. Now I could spend half of void matter to generate during several seconds. So this one half of energy for 10 seconds, I'll generate 15 power per second. So our goal is to find value which would make the balance, so our power wouldn't raise or wouldn't go down. For this, you could use your keyboard like this. So you could find value which will be the most effective, like this. And yeah, so this value, you see, it's we spend 30 per second and we generate 30 per second. But as I said, if we would, at first you would be able to go only with one model, so you could make more, but it will spend much more power. So it's better not to go with it unless you need to. But for now, when I need, as we go through sectors which are not really dangerous for us, we need power and damage, so we generate only 18. So we could go like this. That's it. But in general, this is the only upgrades which important here. It's power per void matter, so we would save void matter. And yeah, this void matter conversion time kind of also could be helpful. But in general, this thing it's for end game, so for mid game, for late mid game. So when you just start, you just need to use mostly engine, damage, and speed, or maybe compute speed if you make this core computing challenge. Then research tab. In research tab, it's very easy. You have 3 trees, and you could focus at one of these 3 trees. When you focus, you spend 9 more amount of research points per second in tree which you focus. So you should look into certain tab which give you most useful stuff. So stuff which give you, for example, this reactor power, extra reactor power, it's not really useful. Yeah, by the way, let's upgrade our ship because I see that we're stopping fighting effectively, so it's time to upgrade it a bit. See, it's go pretty fast, and here also, and we would make it like press max button to see how much we could go for it. 0, 0, 1.5 max, and I do not have any left, so I'll go for next one after we would max previous. Yeah, and we could put another 0 to our multiplicator, so we'll have 6x salvage per second consumed for additional bonus. Okay, so after we did it, considering research. Research, just important thing is to look at the sector. So each sector has its own boost to research density. So for example, right now we are in 15 sector. So let me turn off after select. And now we could, from time to time, you come to sectors where you could choose different paths. So for example, sector 16 right now, I could go to the place where we have a lot of small enemies and we have bonus to material research. We could go to place where we would have slow targets with fast shield regen, and would go to our energy research, or beam wielding enemies, which prevent our shield to restore. And here you could think to choose different paths. The most important thing, by the way, when you choose different sectors, is to go through all of them eventually. For example, I didn't choose this one for now, so you see this writing cleared. I already cleared these 2, so let's go for it, because in achievement tab there is achievement which say clear as much sectors as you can. I do not, yeah, this one. So eventually you want to clear all sectors, so I'll go for this one. And later on in this sector menu you could after select the one which is most easy for you, which you want. So yeah, for now, right now, as we go in observational sector, it's much better to focus on observational stuff, even if it's not really useful right now. Maybe right now it's useful. This is very good shard drop rate and VM drop rate, and then we will have research gain. It's the most awesome thing actually. So, but if it doesn't give you bonus in your sector, it's better to focus on some other. And also all of them are always active, but this one, you see, it gives you one half per second, and this one 60 per second difference, a lot difference. So then bases. What's bases? It's also another, at the beginning of mid game you would open them up, and it's you have three different types of building. At this point, later on you would have much more. And this green, these things, they generate resources. It's called base building material. So it's main resource of this place. So this one is generators. Then we have components. Components, they just generate special bonus. special bonus for damage and max shield. So when you just start, you should get some. Just go put one here, so you would get like 8 or 20 or 50 bonus, but later on it's not so, as you have only one and it's very slow. Your first goal when you just start to play, it's to get as much building mats as you can to unlock everything. So later on you could replace these components when you would have enough, like certain bonus. And also these bonuses, you get them only after you prestige, by the way. Yeah. And also if you unlock something, you also could use it only after prestige. So from time to time you go for prestige only for like base rebuilding, you could say. So the thing is that there are also boosters, and boosters, they work diagonally and horizontally, vertically. So you could see how they affect. No, not vertically. So you see how they affect, or maybe vertical. Let's take a look. No. You see how they affect your bases, and they kind of give you much more generation of building mats. If you hover your cursor over certain base, you could see how much per second it generates. So it's very nice to put these boosters in certain order, so they would give you this additional boosts. So don't just build everything with the green things. Yeah. Then it's kind of later on you would have a lot of other modules, but it's not about beginning of our guide. Let's, by the way, upgrade everything because we hit the boss. If you hit the boss and you stuck a bit, you could just turn off the game, go to sleep, make some work, and then later on come and improve your parameters. So for example, we could improve our shields here. Also important thing, sometimes it's better to turn off these shields so they wouldn't be used right before the boss. So because these models like laser boost automator, shield boost automator, if you turn them on, they give you bonus additional to boost power, but also they use it automatically. So it's much better to calculate right time to turn them on when you fight with the boss. Also, if you stuck somewhere, it's worth like to press stop button. So considering challenges, it's different setups. You will go through the same sectors, but in these sectors you would have new conditions. For example, if the most easiest and simple for new players, it's core computing. This like base carry, power hungry, synth purity, it's high-end challenges, so you wouldn't be able to go through them right on, but core computing, it's quite easy challenge. Let's go for it. Okay, when we start challenge, we make prestige with our weapons which we choose and shields, and we start from 0. Here in this challenge we do not get salvage. We get only void material which we could put into use into our computation, and this computation is actually generates our salvage. So we generate salvage through computing. So it's the challenge. So you need to go to sector 5 at first challenge, or sector like 10 or 8 at second part where I am right now. So my goal is to go to sector 8. So in this way I need rely only on computing, and this way I need to get items which give me bonus to computing. Yeah, this one. So it's kind of most important thing for me. And yeah, let's upgrade shields, so we would have possibility to shield boost. And that's it. So basically these challenges, they give you different conditions for going through the same content, but it feels pretty different. It's like puzzles which you need to solve to get through them. So do not hurry too fast, because as I said, these three challenges, they are for late game. For synth purity, you need to have all these synth components. You need, after infinite production of these green components, these tier 2 components, they must be like infinite production, which is very long time. You may not notice that during this challenge of this core computing, you wouldn't get any bonuses to your damage. For example, these models. So you see, when you upgrade it, next effect will be damage 1x. So this model not worth to wear it. So for this challenge, it's better to wear all other models which give you bonuses, at least some. And another very important thing is targeting. So each weapon has possibility to target different targets, and we could see this red arcs. It's the distance for certain weapons. For example, this charge laser, it hits a bit closest enemies. Why? Because it's important where your weapon stationed. For example, weapon which on top of the ship, it's farthest. Weapon which below, it has a bit smaller distance. So it's a bit important thing where to position them. And here you could, in this targeting, you could choose which weapon would attack which enemy. So in this example, I want to show you how effectively go with this setup, how to put your target priority right. So our beam laser, I use it mostly right now for finishing targets. So this why I use it to attack lowest hit points enemies. Actually, type priority doesn't matter for it. Then we have change target. So in case if there will be some target with lower HP, our beam laser will change target, and we allow target overlap. So why not? Then charge laser. Here we just attack any target with highest hit points, because we are hard hitters, and we change targets because after we made one shot, we want to go to another highest maximum hit points target, and we want to avoid target overlap with our second charge laser, which also had hard hitter. So they kind of mirror each other. This way, as you could look at our fighting right now, we are able to finish enemies very effectively. So our hard hitter go through target, makes a lot of damage. If it's not finished, our beam laser finishing it, which is quite nice. So this targeting, it's very important thing, and you should look into it and customize it depending on the situation you are. So as you see, this game, it's really cool. There are a lot of different stuff, like this AI told you, this accumulations, you just click on them, they do not cost anything, they give some bonuses. There are some consumables. For example, you could like make 6 hours skip if you stuck somewhere and you actively playing right now. So you could just press this button, and 6 hours would go, and you would get resources which you would get for 6 hours of offline gameplay, something like this. So very nice and deep game. Go, by the way, to the settings. Here you could customize like FPS cap. You could minimize it. You do not need a lot of FPS here. And I make font size maximum. So yeah, take a look into this stuff. And also you could join Discord, by the way, and get the special role. It's also fun. Thank you much for watching. I hope this video helped you to understand this game a bit. Of course, this video is just for beginners. Later on there are much more content. So I see you in my next videos. Don't forget to subscribe at my channel. I make guides in best idle games. Have a good day.